Hey guys, Brad McCullough here, Advanced Technology Services. The last time we talked about OEE, we went through an overview, a simple overview, did some basic math. In that video, I promised we'd talk about quantifying OEE and how we use it to show improvement in plant performance. Now, mostly I'm thinking about, from a maintenance perspective, how we drive OEE through machine availability, but there are other ways to do that. So let's take a quick look at the math and how we quantify OEE. And oh, by the way, at the end of the video, I'll talk a little bit about how this works even if you're not measuring OEE, the logic behind it and how we connect the dots. So first of all, you remember, we talked about availability times productivity times quality. So let's put some basic math. Let's look at this. So let's say we have a plant that's operating at 50% OEE. Maybe we know that's perfect, maybe not, but let's just use that number for now. So to get 50% OEE, we'd roughly have to be 70% availability, 80% productivity, 90% quality. Now, most of the customers I work with, they know what their quality ratings are, how many parts we produce, how many were good. They may or may not be able to measure the other two and be very accurate. But we don't have to be perfect here to come up with some really good numbers, and I'll show you that as we go forward. So here's how you start to quantify it. 50% OEE. Let's say our plant on an annualized basis produces $100 million worth of product. We're running at 50% OEE. So 100 divided by 50 is $2 million for every 1% of OEE. Now that's revenue, it's top line stuff. So for every percent improvement in OEE, I could produce another $2 million worth of product. Stay with me here. So what would happen if we put a strategy in place and we decided we're going to improve asset performance to drive OEE? Normal maintenance program, asset performance improvement, right? So let's say we improve it to 80%, from 70% availability to 80. So what that does is 80 times 90, that's 58% OEE. So we don't translate the whole 10% or 10 points improvement in availability to OEE because we lose in productivity and quality. So we do move it 8 percentage points. 8 points, excuse me. So think about this though. That's a 16% improvement. And when you think about OEE as product velocity, meaning how fast the product moves through the plant, that's a 16% improvement in product velocity. Once again, we're talking about, so if we're 8 points improvement in OEE, 8 times your 2 million, that's $16 million worth of additional product that we could produce in the same time frame and in the same, with the same inputs minus direct labor for the most part. And material costs go up, certainly, but the rest of the costs pretty much stay the same. Now here's what's interesting about that. So if direct materials at 50%, and it of course went up because we produced more product, we basically in this last $16 million, we drove $8 million worth to the bottom line. Profitability for that last 16 because all the other costs were fixed, roughly speaking. So when you're talking to manufacturing managers and we're talking about making improvements, this is one of the things you think about, this incremental improvement. Now what we'll do in other videos, we'll talk about what if I don't need revenue, right? We'll talk about how we look at the other inputs. You know, how many shifts, how many people, how much overtime are we working? When I improve product velocity, I have the ability to actually reduce the inputs, run the plant less. Energy costs go down, labor costs go down, other types of cost savings if I don't want to produce a product. So that's one of the ways we quantify OEE. And the neat thing is here, so let's say you don't measure OEE and these numbers aren't perfect. What we're really doing is we're measuring the value of the change from 50% OEE to 58. So it doesn't really matter completely whether I started at 70% or 75%. If I move the needle 10 points, I would be directionally correct in the total value. So oftentimes I use this model with clients and talk to them about the improvement and what that's worth to them to show that it makes sense making an investment. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me. Be happy to talk through this some more, answer some more questions. We can get into more of the details later about OEE and how we manage cost and not just drive revenue, because not everybody needs increased revenue. Thanks. I hope this helps you understand a little bit about OEE and how we quantify it, and look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.